Hi there. Who do we have in stream? I'm not sure yet. I'm just eating a sandwich. I'm done now. Let's see. It is Sunday, my dude. So I'm looking for things to edit for folks. If you have a model that you'd like to see added to VR chat for yourself, got any questions? Feel free to type it in the chat. I'm digging around booth.pm right now to see if there's anything interesting. Pumpkins are kind of random. They usually end up kind of flat on one side. Very squashed looking gourd. Always want to have like a little bit of tops are always pinched though. little bit of here we can adjust how many vertices it has. Put it back in the middle. Then I'm going to want to find a material for it. So I have these material libraries that I've installed. This installation. Takes a minute to load. If I don't get any viewers here, I'm just going to stream the meetup, which is totally fine. Usually answer a lot of questions then, too. You can always check back with me later. Maybe I'll make this a regular thing. What is going on, Blender? So here's another problem that can happen with Blender 2.8. Sometimes it just doesn't want to play nice. I didn't save either. Yay. Though it doesn't take long to make a pumpkin. Seconds, in fact. Well, rip Blender. Try again. See if material library is working. Probably did not save it. Nope, I guess not.
Yours and Alex's.
I didn't agree to any of this, right? That Morgan is not me. I would never... Do you know what's going on in Psychotronics? Do you?
Yours and Alex's.
I didn't agree to any of this, right? That Morgan is not me. I would never... Do you know what's going on in Psychotronics? Do you?
If I did, I couldn't say. You know that.
What do you know about the Typhon?
Morgan, we shouldn't talk about that. Not without your brother present.
Then what business? You do know you sneak. How can you sit there?
Morgan, take a deep breath. Here.
I don't want to, Bill. I want this station shut down. I want her, Morgan. I said no!
Well, that looks good. There's gonna be quite a few cool maps tonight. Let's see what else is on here. There's a bunch of new ones that people have brought up. I'm gonna have to pull them up and show them on stream here. Thought it'd be kind of cool. I'm taking a look right now. What else did we get on stream today?
This is like a pizza pocket.
Mostly bots, so no big deal. Let's see. Looks like Jordo's got something cool coming tonight as well. Maybe tonight, maybe later. Check this out. Man, Halloween in VR chat is going to be pretty cool. There's always some great stuff. If you didn't know, my Twitter is Dylan. And there is a lot of pretty amazing stuff. I also stream live to that as well. It's hard to track how many viewers I have, but if you are there, say hello in the chat. I do follow a lot of VR related stuff. Follow me. Also, it's Japan time.
こんな感じで動き回れるようになりました。
One cool thing about following a lot of Japanese VR chat creators is that 50% of your Twitter is Japanese for 50% of the day. And then it goes back to English again. Just based on time zones alone.
皆さん、どうですか？聞こえますか？
So right now I'm just waiting if somebody wants a model worked on. I promised yesterday I would do that. Thank you for 900 subscribers. I've got 2 viewers right now in the chat, so I know it was short notice. I'm not expecting. I should have scheduled it, but either way, I will be going live with VR chat streaming in a little bit. The plan is to stream the community meetup because they do that. They also stream the community meetup. But it's always fun to do that. Hosted TFM Johnny last night. That was good too. Lots of fun there. Played the Air Goose. Pretty lit. And it's always really cool to see what other people do in VR chat. I don't even know which map this is. Nice looking though. Find this one. Hi! I gotta look that map up. You don't see good use of fog in maps very often. Chan VR. Very cool. Train station. I need to know where this map is. I'm gonna check vrchat.net. See if I can find it. Lots of train stations. None that look like that, though. Abandoned station. Horror adventure. Wait a minute. Last year's Chris model. Yeah. Let's see. A snowy Japanese bus station? No, that's definitely not it. What map is that? If anyone knows the name of that map, let me know, because that's one of the best looking, coolest looking maps I've ever seen. So yeah. Please. I want to see it. It's really nice. That was an awesome video. Yeah, it's a really cool looking map. It's got that 1950s vibe. I have no idea what it's called. I'm currently scrolling through like all of the different maps on VRChat with the word train station in the title and not finding anything. There's a lot of really cool train maps. I spend a lot of time in Quest compatible maps though, mostly. So I don't end up seeing a lot of the PC ones except on Sundays. Should go the World Hop more often on Saturdays, but I like to be entertained, so I end up spending a lot of time in performance maps, watching people sing and things like that. Hello, Cornfather. Do you have a model you want to have in VRChat? If you do, send me a link in the chat, and I will pull it up and see what we can do. Hey, no worries. So right now I'm just jumping through different VR chat maps. In about 30 minutes, I'm going to be streaming. Well, I won't retopo it, but I will rig something if you want me to rig something. That doesn't take me very long. You'd have to give me a link to the model, though. But if you had a model you wanted in the game, or if you needed to know how to do something, if you had a question about Blender or Unity, that's what I'm here for, at least for today. Something from scratch. I actually did a pumpkin head from scratch the other day. That can be pretty tough, but it can be pretty easy. The goal to doing something from scratch, and I'm glad you asked, at least this gives me something to talk about. So the goal to doing something from scratch, or the trick to doing something from scratch, is that with Cat's Blender plugin, it's extraordinarily easy. You really only need to do 3 things. So usually, like if you had a ball like this, if I wanted to make like a pumpkin head from scratch, there's a few things you can do. You could go, for example, into sculpting mode and just look at it on the x-axis here. And then if I grab something like the deflate modifier, which is this one, gotta find deflate. So there's inflate, and you can make it deflate by holding down shift. And what this does is I can increase the strength a little bit, reduce the radius, and then just zoom in a bit. Now I want it mirroring on the x-axis, which is right here. So we got to look at it from the y-axis. So if I was to do something like, by the way, you can press F to increase the size of the radius here. So if I was to, so this is inflate, see? And if you hold shift, it's deflate. So if I wanted, for example, so I could go in here and just deflate this, or I can even turn it in a little bit and then use the grab modifier. But the trick, to get back to my point, the trick to making a scratch, for example, like a face in VRChat or anything like that, is that you really only need 3 things. Well, 2 things. You need eye movement, potentially in your own eyeball, something like that, and you also need a you need 3 Visemes, because it will generate the rest for you. They're not perfect, and you can go in and customize them yourself if you'd like later on. But I'm just sort of messing around right now with just this. So what I could do is I could add 2 more. So I go to layout here, and I could add 2 more spheres. Add, I'll just do a UV sphere. And what I'll do is I'll shrink it. And then over here, put it here. What I'll do is I'll add over here a mirror modifier. Yeah, we making VRPill basically. This is how VRPill is made. It's pretty simple. So if we add a let's see, we add a mirror modifier like this. So this gives you, this mirrors the mesh that you happen to be on. You'll see there's this little spanner or wrench up here in the top right. And now what you want to do is you want to mirror object, and this, since this sphere is in the center, I'm just going to do that. And now you've got a mirrored eyeball. Pretty easy, right? So when I move this one, it moves the other one as well. So when you're doing like a mesh from scratch, that's how you would start. Typically you'd use, and I've done this before, there is videos on my channel of doing full scratch from drawings. It's not hard to do, but we're gonna do a really, really simple thing. So I'm gonna put these 2 eyeballs here. Now, you want them to move, right? So to rig a something like this to move, you have to make it so that the eyeballs move along an axis. And to do that, usually you need to have bones that are vertical. So to do that, it's not too hard. You just grab the object that you'd like to have rotated, or for example, we could do this for the head bone. And all you need to do is create a an armature. Whoops. Add single bone, and then this will be our head bone. If we go up to item here, I can change its position, so I want it at 0, 0, 0 for now, because it's right in the center. I know this isn't the best, I'm going to go here, transparent. I'll do this. Now the next thing is, so now I've got this head bone here. The eye bones come off of that, essentially, but to rig is quite simple. So you've got this little head here, and you've got your body, so we want to tab into edit mode, like this. Make sure that everything's selected. You can press A to do that. And then I want to create a mesh group, vertex group, like this. We're going to call it head, like that. And then I'm going to assign, by clicking this button, the mesh. So if I hit deselect, you'll see it doesn't select the head anymore. If I hit select, it selects the head. So now I have a vertex group called head. Now, similarly, if I go to this sphere here, and I've got this armature, and I take this bone and call it head, what you can do is you can click here and shift click here, and then you can type make parent, like this. Parent, or sorry, you gotta do it the other way around. You gotta click here and then click here. Type make, and click make parent, and then whatever. It's the other way around. One of them. One of these will do it. And then it'll ask you to make parent, and because they're called the same thing, now I could go into cats and start pose mode, and if I do this, the head should move. So it is pretty simple to create mesh groups that are there, and yes, Control P for fake parent as well. So you can armature from there, and you can rig out eyeballs as well. But anyway, in cats, the 2 things you need to do are create eye tracking using the 2 bones off of the head, and you need to create 3 mouth shapes, which is A, O, and Ch. That is pretty much it. Really, too, just for mouth shapes, all you're doing is making 3 semi-similar mouth shapes, and Cats will do the rest. So over in the layout tool, Cats has a Viseme creation tool, and all you need is AO and show, and it'll create the Visemes for you. And it looks good enough, honestly, so you can be pretty easy with it. In terms of making armature off of the head bone, really all you need to do is from here you can press E to extract. So I like to use this. You just press E to extract a bone once you selected the bone itself, and you can extrude in edit mode like this. These would be detached. So over here you would click on undo connection, then I can press G to move, hold shift to move in a small increment. ISO view, it's a lot easier. Typically want to rotate this way. For bone or for eyeballs that are like this, you actually want them to be above. And then there's a neat little trick that if you've got here, I've got this bone here, and I can say this is eye left, I.L. And then there's a shortcut called symmetrize, like the other one. And then here, actually, you want to select both of them. So they're going to be something like that, usually. If you've made them yourself, they'll probably be something like that. And then you can move the eyeballs once you assign these. So you'll notice it created an eye right for me. So if I go back into on here, I have to make these 2 separate objects. So I'll have to apply the mirror. So now I've got 1 sphere. They can be 1 object, that's fine. I'll click on one of them. This is my left eye. So I'll go here, vertex group, I.L. Same thing over here. Vertex group, I.right. So now these ones are with those with those 2 eyeballs. So those will move with that once they're all assigned. You have to parent them to the bones as well, but so doing armature is fairly easy. It's a lot easier than some people think. People think weight painting and armature is extremely difficult. Honestly, it's much easier to just create static mesh groups with bone groups that match. That part is really easy. I've built little like cardboard people and other things like that. You don't necessarily need to have the bones smoothly collapsing into each other for most things in VRChat, because again, it's using inverse kinematics, using very static tracking pucks. Like even if you have full body tracking, you really only want your foot to be moved by the foot tracker, and only in relation to where the rest of the hip tracker is, and so on and so forth. So having ultra smooth weight painting isn't as necessary, although you can use some minor painting for things like soft bodied parts that move a little bit better. But yeah, essentially it's the very basics of how you would make something from scratch. I do prefer to use the sculpting tool as well, because you can do a lot with that. Once you're in the sculpting tool, there's just so many different. Let me get out of object mode. I'm on the wrong object here. Sculpting mode is really useful for all kinds of things. Like if you do smooth shading as well, you get an idea of what it's actually going to look like in game with the right shader. Yeah, it is quite easy. Be quite surprised. Basically, how to make VR pill 101. It's not too difficult. And then essentially what you have to do at the end is add some, you probably want to close, you want to take this bit of mesh here at the top and do a blinking animation, and you do your AO and SH. So you could either build what's called a mouth bag, which is where you have a separate mesh that is a bag that is red, and that's the inside of the mouth, and then you have the physics of the lips that are attached to the outside part, and then you'll close that. One other way you can do it is you can create mouth armatures if you'd like. That would allow you to form the mesh underneath. So coming off of the head, you could make a jaw flap. That's the easiest way. So you just have the bottom part of the mesh affected by the weight of the jaw flap. That's probably the easiest way. And have this little flapping head. Yeah, it's not too tough. Yeah, it doesn't take long. I mean, honestly, you can mess with this in a couple of seconds and build something silly. You can also take something like a default face mesh, so like just a humanoid face mesh that you can find anywhere like CG Doers or some other website, and paste a texture onto it using the UV editing tab. That can be really, really easy. But yeah, it's super easy to make something like that. I think a lot of people are scared by 3D modeling because it seems like this domain that a lot of people, hold up as this like absolute skill, and it is. I mean, it does take artistic skill. I mean, definitely. I think the textures do too, but I think that just watching someone do something like this and just messing around sometimes is enough to learn quite a lot. And you can go back in and smooth. But again, really, you just need that basic armature. You need like a head, so this would be the head. I've got the two eyes that are moving now, and then you just a very basic mouth blend shapes. If I wanted to click on, let's see, if I go to edit mode here, you'll see that I've got, there's the actual shape of it. It's funny because smooth shading makes everything look better, but it's very basic, right? So, so for example, if I wanted to create a shape key, I would need to make a basis first. So if we go to object mode, I can click here and make a basis. So this is the basis of this sphere here, this larger one. And then if you wanted to, for example, if you wanted to close the bottom half of the mouth, so in edit mode, I press A to deselect everything. I can use the C key to select some vertices. I do actually prefer to be in face mode, because that makes it a little bit easier. So if we go use the C key here, I can select bits and pieces of the mesh. You can middle click to unselect things, but I think I just want so now what I can do is I can take this bit of the mesh here and I can just create a new shape key. Call it close, or just maybe even ch, right? And then back into edit mode, I take this, and if I go in front view, just G and then C, I close it like this. And then I'll just select these two, and then GZ again, just close it like that. Looks a little funny. Let's see. I'll go back to guess I have to get down here too. Just right clicking everything I want. I have the I used to hate Blender's default settings, but after using Blender 2.7 for a while, I actually just got used to it. So I'm pressing G and then Y here because I want to extrude on this angle. Then I want to take these and pull these out. So just G and Y. And so now I have a ch, because I've made these changes on this shape key. So if I go here, so thanks. So you can, so now you could make a ch, an o, and an a, right? Just very, very simply. And the mouth would look really ridiculous and move around quite a lot. It's pretty easy to do. But yeah, that part's simple. So you just have to make those 3 shape keys, and then you can make a really ridiculous face. Around Halloween too. Oh, thanks for all the follows. Around Halloween too, it's a really good time to just make ridiculous faces. Like you can make like the most scuffed model you want, and it makes it super easy to it makes it super easy to it makes it super duper easy to come up with something, because it doesn't have to be perfect. It can just be super sketch, and it'll look good because it's Halloween, right? Who the hell am I? I am Len. I have been making VR chat tutorials for 5 years. Oh, not surfing Twitch? I have no idea. Yeah, I do make VR chat characters. Sometimes I do things from scratch. Most of the times I edit or make MMD models and then turn them into VR chat avatars. But mostly I do tutorials so that other people can do it. It's not too hard. Sweet. You can always play VR chat without VR, of course, but and that's really fun too. Fun fact, I've never used VR chat outside of VR in 5 years. I think I've been in desktop maybe a grand total of 10 minutes. Back in the day, we used to use Xbox controllers on our DK1s and DK2s. It was a lot of fun. It was very different back then. Also, fun fact, if you're on desktop, that function still works. So if you have an Xbox controller, you can have better control over the things inside VR chat. With an Xbox controller, you can do things like grab an object and manipulate it in space using the control sticks. So even without VR, having an Xbox controller is great. Or any other controller, really. Like, you can use a Steam Link controller, or you can use a PlayStation 4 controller, whatever you want. That'll let you control things in the game a little bit better. It lets you grab and throw things as well, which is pretty nice. And yes, I have. I've used I haven't used Oculus. Well, I've played with Oculus Medium, but yes, I'm a big fan of 3D sculpting tools, because I think that they do a much better job. I really like Google Blocks. I've played with quite a few of them, but the one that I've been using lately is Canova VR. Over here. That's this software here. And it has quite a lot of tools for doing that kind of thing. I'll show you guys the trailer for it. Here we go. Load up just a second. This is made by Foundry, the same guys who make like Nuke and Moto. And it's quite good. It's also free.
Canova is our new volumetric sculpting software. It's based on ADF technology, which is the muscle behind Mischief. When we started researching this technology, we realized that it was inherently three-dimensional and could be leveraged in ways to create an amazing piece of sculpting software. Volumetric sculpting in itself is nothing new. However, ADF technology improves upon this in many ways. One of the ones I'm most excited about is local resolution. Most volumetric sculpting applications are limited to a set resolution for the entire mesh, but with ADF technology, we're actually able to vary that resolution, allowing for more details in areas that need it.
The interesting part too is using the same technique that I just showed you for easily making like mesh deforms in Blender. You can easily make something like this spider and turn it into an avatar in VRChat in no time. Using VR sculpting tools is a great way and a quick way to put together a mesh, right? You'd have to retopologize probably, but you could use some of the decimation tools inside Blender to get rid of to make that a little bit easier.
Software, and it's something we've invested quite a bit of time on. By releasing early on Steam via Steam Early Access, we feel we can start engaging the community early in the software's development so that we can really nail down the right feel, because this is such a vital aspect of creating a great piece of sculpting software.
See, super fast. It's quite easy.
Canova was developed from the ground up to be a VR sculpting tool. However, one of the things that we were certain of from the very beginning was that we also wanted to have desktop capabilities. There are huge advantages to being able to jump into an environment and work with something that is directly in front of you. And there's also a lot of advantages to being able to sit down at your desk, in particular, detailing. So regardless of whether or not you have a VR headset, this is going to be an amazing tool for you. And once you're ready to take that dive into VR content creation, it'll be ready for you.
Yeah, time will stop that. Over time, you'll get pretty used to VR in general. I like to use snap turning. I am 100% into smooth locomotion, though. I always have been. It does take some practice. A lot of it is having the lenses dialed in correctly, having the IPD set correctly. That's super important. The other trick is to move your body. So if you're gonna turn, or like to move, is to move your body for sure. Yeah, Canova's great. But yeah, another trick I like to use is I like to go as if I'm using a hoverboard, right? So if you're using a hoverboard or like on a skateboard, you sort of pretend you're on a skateboard. So when you move forward, if you brace yourself a little bit, you end up feeling a lot less like you're moving forward and more like you're gliding along, right? So I find that helps a lot for locomotion in VR, but most of all, it's time. You will gain sea legs over time when it comes to VR, and you'll just get better at it, generally speaking. And yeah, I highly recommend Canova. It's pretty damn good. There are other pieces of software. Masterpiece VR is another one. I also use that. Actually, on my YouTube, I have a video of me building sort of a mesh for a character that a friend drew for me of myself as a Bleach like captain from the anime Bleach. And there's this strange series of tubes that's all over the character, and I did that in Masterpiece VR, which is a good piece of software. Canova's free. Masterpiece VR is close to something close to about, I want to say $30, $40. It's almost as good. And I think that Canova has better performance. But Masterpiece VR is has a bit more features anyway. It does get a little bit janky when you start using smooth shading. It actually creates a layer on top when you paint colors onto the model. I'd love to see one that has all of those features, and I've yet to find one for free that doesn't have a recurring license that allows you to do armature inside VR, which would be wonderful. And yeah, I'm about to jump into VR. I'm going to go into the meetup And you guys can follow along there. I'm going to have my Twitch view on my hand, even though you probably won't be able to see it. But I'll have my Twitch overlay on my hand, and I will be able to interact with the stream while I'm there. I'm going to save this this pseudo pill, I think. And I'll play with it the next time I stream. We'll see what we can do with it. Anyway, that's how you do it. You make your you make the objects that you've modeled or meshed out or created with yeah, VR bill pseudo pill. But yeah, if you take the meshes that you've taken, you just drag them up into the armature. You make the armature the parent, and with automatic weights, and then again you'll be able to just, like, you know, real easy move your stuff around. So if I wanted the eyes now, if I go over here, click this, you'll see I can move my eyes now. With automatic weights, usually you want to deselect the other parts of the mesh, because this will deform the face too, which is not good. You only really want the sphere going, and that's easy to fix as well. And the next time I'm in here, I'll show you guys how to do that too. So very quickly, get out of pose mode. You click on the object that you want to change here, so this bit here, and if you go down to the mesh group section, see where there's the eye right. If I go into edit mode, you can select what is eye right, and you'll see that it's like all of this stuff. So you just click everything, and you click remove, and then go into object mode again. Click on here, click on edit mode, and click on eye right, and hit select. You'll notice it's now just this here. So when I go back into object mode, I can, with eye right here, I can rotate it by going. But you want to adjust the shape. Some people find that it's a little bit easier to do bone going this way, backwards, so that it's up, down, left, right, with the center point here. But all about where you put the tailbone, right? You can also adjust it so that it only moves on a specific axis, and you can do that in here as well. I'm currently using a Valve Index with 3 Vive trackers, but I also have a Vive, and I also have a Windows Mixed Reality headset, and I also have a DK2. There's strengths and weaknesses to all of them. I've used a Quest significantly, and I also build all of my content for Quest. How do I attach my Vive trackers? I have a pair of Crocs, believe it or not, and I got a proper bolt that I use, the same kind of bolt that you would use in a camera mount. So I've got that bolt and a washer, and that washer goes inside where the hole is on the Crocs, as hilarious as that is, and then you grind it together, and that gives you your foot mount, and then you can just slip some Crocs on. It works great. And then I have an old belt that I've drilled a hole in. Same thing, proper washer, and I think it's 4x20mm. Yeah, they are blessed Crocs. I took a $5 pair of shoes and made them $200. If you're gonna get a Vive, at the very least, get a Vive Pro, because the old school Vive just isn't worth it anymore. Not even close. I'm gonna have to switch microphones. Let me just do that real quick. somewhere. Oh, I left these kind of low from last night. It's off. Is it dead? Hope not. Oh, it might be. I do have battery backup. I can fix that. Here's looking at you, kid. Should have a hip tracker in a second here. Hopefully. Without trackers, that would be weird. So it is charging. It's just dead. Right, there we go. Why are you down there? You're up here. I'm just gonna have to exit VR chat, I guess, and come back. That's okay, though. There we go. I'm gonna test this before I go anywhere. So on my map, I have a rock wall. This map is not public yet. One of these days, I'll finish it. I feel like I'm stuck in the wall. Yeah. Let's see if this works. Nope. Here comes the insanity.
Do you mind if I friend you up? I couldn't be off the things.
Go ahead. I haven't attended this.
Do you know if anyone has an account?
Damn, you looking spooky today. Or like
always
slightly like a Thanksgiving dinner.
I wonder if you could just have
So hungry.
So hungry.
I need a Halloween outfit.
I suppose. There is a shop like
that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Behind you?
Yeah,
Not that.
I want to show my secret shop world, and this time I want to see if we can switch.
I know, abject poverty is terrifying. He's got nothing but a barrel to wear.
Do you see him as a hologram too?
No.
I wonder if he's been like that and I just turned on all my effects.
Oh, maybe I should probably do that. Although, at the meetup, that might be a bad idea.
Yeah,
I am Ballot.
it's gonna blow up in my face.
Oh, is that an event Adminoid too?
Oh my god. Who knows?
Well, there's going to be a huge demand for it, let me tell you.
Yeah, what are we at?
It's
I'm done.
probably one of
I have to bring up my...
You didn't didn't tell me to kick that guy. You told me to kick him.
Making virtual.
How you doing, Lon?
What the?
Oh, that's right. Why?
Super good. Not hungover, amazingly.
Oh boy.
Yeah, last night was fun.
Hey man, I was gonna tell you, thanks for introducing me to Johnny, man. That dude's awesome.
Yeah, he's really good. Last night was great.
Don't get me wrong.
It was a good, very entertaining.
Look.
Oh,
Plus,
yeah,
my daughter was
to
eating
stick
ramen
around.
and got to have "Happy Birthday" sung to her on the TV, which is kind of cool. So we had TFM Johnny
Oh,
going
shit.
streaming on the TV, and then Lollibrad got him to sing "Happy Birthday" for her, which is pretty great. So.
Oh, well, tell her happy birthday, man. How old is she?
10.
Wow, nice, dude. My little one will be 6 in February.
Oh wow. Yeah, being a parent is crazy. Things happen so fast.
Dude, it's amazing. I feel bad for the people who say they don't want kids.
You'd react.
No, I'm like, you're missing out on a fuck ton, dude.
Yeah, it is super fun.
Sends a friend request on Discord, but you have a message.
Especially when they're like, "Daddy, I love you," and you're just like, "Oh, fucking melting."
It's because saying, "Hey, we will hire you."
You know how it is.
Yeah.
It's all me Hamskis. All pretend to be VR chat employees on all space.
Got to increase my screen width so I can actually see when people are chatting to me today.
Yeah, she's starting to learn how to draw really well and write like full sentences, and she drew me a bee the other day and it said "I love you, Daddy" on it. I'm just like, this is fucking awesome.
As long as I don't hate you, you're winning.
Someone's a snitch on all space. We don't want them.
Oh no, she's a daddy's girl, man.
I chose Rubik. He used to be one of those old space
University. We've got this like class every week. There's like the community meetup.
I said, I'll bet you it was Rubik. He used to be one of those old spacers.
The one that we spoke to said the new Ruby.
Yeah, I speak to different people and they're just like, "I don't want kids," and I'm just like, "Man, you're missing out."
It can be a lot of work though too. But both is, I respect people's
for sure.
decision. Yeah, until you've had kids.
Oh, I do too. I do too. Yeah, I mean, it's not for everybody, but
yeah,
I couldn't imagine not having a kid.
Oh my God! Look at your hand. What happened to you?
Man, cut it off.
Right.
Oh, here we go. It's starting.
Because I was.
Squid, you never
Hey guys, we're
it's still on my camera.
Oh shoot! I forgot about that. Dang. Oh well.
Keep going.
Whatever. Yeah. Anyways. Hey, welcome to the community meetup. This is a meetup we do once a week. Hello, Meetups. So meetup we do once a week, every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern. All right, night. Anyways, what this is an event where you guys can just show up the content that you're working on, world related. And so with that said, once I'm done here, I'm just going to ask you guys to kind of run up to the circle, and as I see you run up, I'll start writing down your names. With that said, there are a few rules. Make sure the avatar you used is, fairly optimized, medium or above. Just being courteous of other people's performance. With that said, there's also, the performance options in the settings menu, so make sure you take advantage of that as well. What's that?
Share the message, but you got quiet, please. Still.
Oh, jeez, shoot. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm still new at using those. Yeah. So, leading right into that, me and Cyan and Fax, I'll have these messages driven by shaders that we activate using emotes and gestures, just like that. So just make sure you select Cyan, me, and Fax, and make sure you show our avatar so that we bypass your performance filters. Just so that no matter where you are in the world, we'll be able to see those gestures. For things like, such as if we're in a really big world, we can say respawn, and we'll be able to meet up and move on to the next world. The content you show must follow the VRChat community guidelines. And the world you show must be able to hold up to 40 people, just so we can fit everybody in. If we do exceed 40 people, which we often do, what will happen is the portal will fill up, the portal will disappear, and then you will need to sort of start joining off people through the menu to circumvent that 40 person cap. So we can fit up to 80 people in there. And I believe that's it. So with that said, whoever runs up first, I will start writing your names down. And if anybody needs any sort of time accommodation, let me know. Oh, sounds good. Okay, you want to take them down, Pax? Okay, cool.
Fuck you, Lucifer. There's a lot of people that I expected right before Kigali, so...
Oh, yes, and one more thing. There is a hard cap of 7 p.m. Eastern. That's usually when the event will just cut off, no matter what. Which is, if that isn't your time zone, 3 hours from now. So.
Oh god, they shared the club.
What's up, Blue?
Oh god, they shared the Club Penguin dance.
Rubik, go away.
It's amazing.
Oh boy.
Why?
God. Dude, I'm eating a salad right now and I'm fucking choking.
If you're not showing anything, please move back.
Yeah, yes, if you're not showing anything, please go back to the seat so you don't get written down.
Okay. Go run back.
Is that everyone so far, Effects? Oh, there we go. Cool.
Oh god, the Club Penguin dance. Why? It looks like it's going around. It's...
Can I have funny penguin dance, please?
One penguin dance, please.
Alright, so just to double check, guys, I'm just going to read these out
much
to make sure nobody was missed. So there's DSMT, and then Blue Aces, Orals,
I don't know how
Ranger,
to do it full body.
Etho, and then Rubik.
You weakling.
Alright, cool.
You mean
I can't do it. I'm in a wheelchair. Hold on, can you hear these?
Sorry?
That was a wheelchair. Right?
Oh,
Right, I have an excuse.
Okay, fair enough. That's why you're asking others to do it. I understand.
Oh, by the way,
So if...
I can't...
I turn it on for me, I always...
Wait, are you Chim Champ? Wait, what? That's good.
Everybody could go sit down and Rubik come into the center.
Oh, there you are. I saw your nameplate and his avatar. I was like, what?
So this week I would like to show the Secret Shop world, except if by any chance anyone has an avatar that is invisible by default, that they could share, that we could copy, clone everyone. If we don't, then I guess we'll have to use the personal space again. But last time it wasn't really the best.
Fuck, I actually used an avatar like that favorite did, where it was like basically nothing but an animator.
Cube.
Oh yeah, there's a
But I guess
empty game object with avatar description.
Wait,
Animator
what's the viewpoint on
Japanese
the
community where they have those avatars
Right in your chest,
show off their animations.
in your neck.
Okay, that's good enough then. No, it's fine. We'll switch into the cube fruit then. Perfect, actually.
The cube fruit? I like it.
Okay, so everyone switch into this avatar for now. For the next world.
Stripped of my mortal possessions.
Oh boy. Cube fruit invasion.
Hi. I'm a cube fruit.
I'm a cube fruit with full body tracking. It's so weird.
I'm in full body, by the way. Yeah.
On top of that, you will want to turn off nameplates.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's going to be in your view all the time.
Right.
So remember which cube is which.
Everyone remember which cube fruit is them.
God, this is
when everyone is ready, before I drop the portal, you'll have to turn off player voices, not to the minimum, but so you can hear people still. But you want to have world audio to the maximum, and you want to have voice lowered so that you can actually hear stuff and what's going on. So I'll drop the portal.
Touch my cube ass.
80%, 100%.
I think I lost the leaf.
What? No.
I took a panorama.
On top of that, people who have low download speed internet, you might want to go first, because I believe I left the main trigger on always buffered, so the first person who gets there will trigger it for everyone after 30 seconds. So if people are not there by then, I don't know how it works for late joiners. So yeah, if you have a shitty internet, go first. People who don't, go last.
Hey Bento, where you at?
Unsubscribe from me, Hamsky.
I should have done it manually.
Who said that?
So go, people with bad internet.
Oh no,
it's fine.
Invite.
Oh shit, we have more than 40 people. Do we have more than 40? No, we don't. Let's go. Oh yeah. Go.
Oh god, 173 megabytes. Are you coming, Kate? Okay. Hey to whoever is on YouTube, by the way. YouTube resynchronizer. It just showed me what you'd said. Oh. It's a secret shop.
We'll see soon.
Download it. Your make like seconds.
It's a Steam.
Yep.
Yeah, I know this one. Yeah.
You know this one?
Yeah, from the Steam tutorials.
It's a secret shop from the lab.
Ah, there you are. And look at you, standing alone in the dark. Why? I am a terrible host. Here, take
so
my
dark,
life.
though. Feels like I'm the only
I
one
know
here.
my way around well enough without.
Lockdown is just a skirmish.
Don't be afraid. There is plenty to see. All you have to do is look. But don't be surprised if something looks bad.
My fat forehead is
Treasures
steaming up my
they
headset.
hide in even the
That seems like a you problem.
I was
Grab
just
that light.
closing
Oh
up.
god, this looks sick.
But don't let that concern you. When it's time for lights out, well, you'll see. Well, I have a few deliveries to... Oh, there now. Good thing Roquefort is out for the night. Maybe I do need a light in here. Farewell, my friend.
Oh, no. Dog following? There's a dog? Some weird things following us?
Not a dog.
So now you can grab the light.
Oh shit, a rat.
Ouch, my desk.
This is amazing.
Use it to look around. You have the Drodo is following you around. It's a bit hard to see because of all the cubes. But he's just
Pick me up.
following you. Oh my god, this plane tree is
That's what he's talking about.
and so you can bring the pickup now to a few places to turn on the animations. Like the squid, for example, the table. The one on the shelf
squid.
there.
Wait, where am I on the table?
Oh, neat.
Where? Yeah, you can see it.
The real squid.
Oh wow.
Oh, why am I sharing?
Where?
Oh.
Hey, he's looking at me. That's awesome.
This is
There's
pretty
one on
cool.
The shelf, the shelf there, near the red.
Real time lighting in the outside is so weird. Never seen it.
And the last one is on the ground near the window. There's a grate, like a trap.
Oh shit!
Door.
Too bad you can't see it.
Near it. Yeah.
There's too many gibbers.
If you bring the light here, it will also trigger something.
If you have not done this in Steam, I highly recommend it. It's really good.
If everyone goes to the table, if everyone go to the table, we can clear out that area.
Alright, we got it. Oh god. Actually, we have to like move into it.
I wish I could get up to the top. I love in the original that you can go up and disappear and get really small. Yeah.
Well, as soon as I can scale players, I will do that.
I know that JetDog has a method for scaling players.
Yeah, but you need to duplicate all these cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
Eventually. And so, for people who haven't seen it yet, you can also click the pink statue near the wall, and will also trigger something near the frog. If you haven't, It's hard to point at things because
Is there a reason why it's still pink, or is that actually how it should be?
Just Roshan, you can kill him at level 6.
People to when they join.
Get some easy gold, you know?
That's terrifying.
Yes.
Get stuck. Rubik. I've been stripped of all my individuality.
You're such a cutie now because I need to ask Rob 30 how he did the transition fade to black.
So what are all the little
God, you can go
symbols
through the wall
though?
and see 'em.
Like what is this symbol of on the paper and like on the shelf and on the beam?
Hello, dragon following me.
The white symbols? The white symbols?
What on the?
They're all interactables in the original.
The rune circles. Like the one on the beam.
Turn around. I feel like we shouldn't go behind the scenes, but I'm doing it anyway. We can.
Oh, you know, that's something you can't do in the Steam one. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. All the runes, like what? They're over. A lot of the
He's following me. It's like a scientist scream from Half-Life 1.
Don't touch me.
You're supposed to kind of be very next to
This
it.
is my hiding
frog,
spot.
where the frog just licks your face. There's one on the table where there's a spider.
Licky.
The one on the window, you can just see the environment. And the one above us, there's the book. He comes alive and does a.
Now this woman was disappointed to Generation 4. Do not mention that lady's name here.
It's on the lab. Highly recommend playing through the lab.
Yeah, I guess I.
Wait, does the eyeball ever come back? Or you only get to see it once?
Oh.
Oh, it doesn't come back.
No. I guess I just made it enable once. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I should make it toggle.
Cupid scouring.
Shit. Well.
I'm getting fucking claustrophobia in here.
Yeah, I guess everyone can change avatars at this point.
Oh, great. It'll be really.
Oh, that's a good idea.
You're right.
Girls can't follow me outside the building.
Yeah, the performance is surprisingly good.
Okay.
But we're all cube fruits, so.
So it's like 200 droppings. But the real time rate you carry around is probably the thing that makes it go up to 400.
Little pet guy because of all the cute fruits.
No, I can see everything now.
Nice.
Why did it get brighter?
Oh
my god, there's.
What the hell?
Gross. Is there anything else, I guess, or are we...
Is the Ranger arrow supposed to be animated outside?
So it's the thing you trigger when you click the rune. It's supposed to fly across,
like flying,
and yeah, get stuck in the wall. For now, it's just gonna stay there.
Yeah, it's just
Where is DSMT?
You can actually go outside this time to drop a bottle if you want to.
Alright, let me just change that.
Everybody, DSMT come up here and everybody else stay in
Ah.
Stay in the house, everyone stay in
Yo, I'm running really well.
DSMT even here?
I mean, I guess there's a bunch of poly.
Okay, where's Squid?
If only we had transparent cameras.
Well, this whole map is really optimized, so.
Yeah, Rubik, good job.
Do you guys see this as a green screen right now?
It's like this optimization.
Yeah. Especially with all the animation running at the same time. It's so cool to see the secret shop from different perspective. It's pretty locked down when you're in the lab.
Oh my god, Lund, you're a frog now.
What is it called? The axe in the Jack in the Box item in the middle.
All outside, guys.
All
to the right.
Outdoor to the right.
Oh, the right? Oh.
To the right.
Alright,
Oh,
don't
did
touch
I take
anything
damage
yet.
on Intro? No.
Where am I?
Buttons! There's buttons!
What is this?
Is this the button world?
Are we allowed to not click anything?
Can we not have
I
a
kind
green
of
screen?
spawned myself already, but there's something outside this area.
I'm guessing
Can't
don't
man
touch
with the
anything?
green screen, okay.
Yeah, don't touch anything.
Yeah, don't touch.
I'll touch your buttons.
Man, I didn't know you were the green screen.
Put up the don't touch don't touch thing.
Yeah. Someone dropped the no touch.
Well, I wanted to touch the spectator cam so I can spoil myself.
Yeah.
Oh, that's next
I
level.
have asked a request about the employing a Gmod model over to thing.
Oh,
I got it over.
Hey, Meat Hamsky.
The weights were absolutely terrible.
My
I have
frames
to
are pretty good.
literally re-weight the entire thing.
Oh yeah, I just had a big
to
lag. The
record
frames are
it.
nice.
You, have
Yeah,
any
surprisingly.
issues with the model.
We're not even on 2018 yet.
Sounds like it belongs.
Is it with me?
Yeah, not even. Can you everyone quiet down?
I think. Hey guys, can we quiet down, please, and just gather around this empty?
Okay. Is everyone in yet? I think so.
We still have a few people.
Yep.
One
Still a few
person.
people.
That should
Alright
be the
then,
last
well,
one there.
okay, this world actually uses Fiona's car prefab, but I changed a couple of things. Basically, the objective of this world is to, but there's only 2 buses there. Just get in one of them and get to the end. And if you crash, you have to start it up again. Also, there's over here.
click
There's
the
a
red
spectator
button?
screen.
First to the car.
What is this?
So wait until the bus.
Oh, you can see the screen, yeah.
Aw, shit.
Oh.
He was already out there.
I'm just gonna watch people crash.
Alright.
Let's go.
Alright then.
Ah, yes. Hello.
Click the red button whenever you're
I
ready.
employed this model off.
Oh, there's passenger seats. Oh boy.
Oh, I want in.
It's still global.
This button can disable the window.
Yeah.
Really quick. There's a button
He's going backwards.
Wrong with England, boys.
Rubik, do you have an American driver's license?
You stinky country.
There is a
Bye-bye.
Oh God.
Fine, but one of the cars crashed. It was not good.
Did we get another one? Or we just shit out of luck
Unfortunately,
here?
right now there's only 2 because of when I tried adding a third one, it kind of glitched everything. So I'm gonna have to take a look at the setup.
Hopefully they get to the bus stop and then they come back for us.
Well, whenever they get to the end, hopefully we'll be able to pick this thing.
Cool.
But how's the performance so far? Is there like any frame drops? Any
I'm at 40 frames right now.
I'm
at like 20, and that's pretty good, I think, for me.
24, yeah.
40. All right.
Slowly.
Do you have baked lighting in here?
I have baked lighting and I turned off shadows.
Cool, awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah, right now I think it's mostly
Yeah, not
avatars.
lagging or anything. I'm at 45
What's that?
frames, but it's
Depending
not
on how
lagging.
you're doing the car prefab. So in the original car prefab, there's a lot of little a la carte buttons and stuff.
Well, Ruben made it to
Like every handle and the key and everything were all
you can
different.
reset the car
If you
now.
have a lot of cars in the scene, you should make sure that all of those little pieces.
Bento got
have the
dragged
same
over
anchor
here.
override.
Hey, I can't get out.
Have the same anchor.
Shit.
Oh, looks like you're doomed to stay here for all eternity.
Try to respawn.
Wait, who's driving?
I wouldn't want to drive because if you crash the car, it's gone.
Who's driving?
Nobody's driving.
Panda is driving. How can that be?
Plum-looking thing.
He's smoking.
What were those raisin mascots in the 90s? Because that's him right there. But he's gold.
Let's say
California raisins.
vertices or less, they look bad.
Is he sitting on my lap?
Nope. Just checking out.
Which means that it wouldn't change if your light probe's changed. They're all using the same light probe.
All right then. I'll have
So
to take a look at anchor overrides.
And then that's
I haven't seen you since like last Halloween.
Oh my god.
Yes, yes, I missed you so much.
You still,
How
you
are
still,
you?
you still
Last
playing?
time I
Are you
worked with
still
this
streaming and
model,
stuff?
it was actually pretty decent.
Oh yes,
Ah!
oh yes. Lucy.
Oh my god!
Awesome.
Jesus.
Someone had ripped it straight up. It's been so long.
This is my friend Ditsu. This is my friend Ditsu. This is Lucifer. He's always a skeleton in VR. Well, he used to be like a pumpkin skeleton type guy.
I have a skeleton. Oh my god, that was so long.
You murdered us, jeez.
Gmod model I worked with.
Easy. Glad it's so clean.
Yes, yes, yes. I do other things too.
Looks like they made it.
Oh god, that's issues, but it's pretty okay. Yeah, it's from like 2000.
In this room. It's so hot.
It's like original Xbox game we're talking here.
What is Hagbart testing
Just
in
a little
here?
bit of waifu to actual fix that.
You can drive buses.
That's actually
testament.
textures on a sort that out.
Just click on the button to go to the track.
So look, I made a Halloween thing color for the Optus. It's the old version.
Joke's on you guys. I got here first.
I wrote the original film he was in. I
people
changed the yellowish orange to red and the thingy to green. So woo.
Stephen Hawking getting some action past his death.
No. You sound like a dying dog.
How do you know what?
I invented Fortnite.
He's German.
Experience.
Ah.
Take him down.
Yeah, they know a lot about dying dogs.
Alright, you're on thin ice. Say anything like that again, I'll tip the wheelchair over. No. You know those things that police use to stop cars on the wheels? Like the little yellow things?
Yeah, yep. The boot.
Clamp in, run away.
He did fall over, and look what you did!
Yeah!
What are you doing?
Wait, you respawn and you're in here? Oh.
Science isn't a rule of me. I can defy physics if I want to. These hips don't lie. You like them apples? You like them apples, Steven?
Just like
I wish I had.
Well, they crashed.
Oh, is this the CEO of science? I want to have this.
It is.
Override that just basically says
See you later.
They use horrible subs.
light robe that it's at.
My.
So make sure that
Yeah. Like me there, no looking to
It is enabled. You need to set them all to the same logic. So usually you would
Get us out of here.
I fucked up.
Removes them, so you can keep going. Gonna fuck you up.
This one only calculates his life from one point.
And you have light probes around. And then in your case, you have just a directional light, so the light is the same everywhere.
But I think they
You
still
wanted to have it so that like it got lighter or darker because you have like a spotlight.
it shows like it's
because it's not in.
He's not
You
allowed.
wouldn't want to do
week,
that because
right?
you'd want it to get darker and lighter. But if you just say, okay,
No, it's
put the light probes here, everyone use the same light probe wherever you are in the map. So like it's not. So like if you went to a dark area, it wouldn't get dark. So the light area would get light.
Still counts as the other seats. There we go.
Okay. I'll
You want to drive it?
See the bus.
I'm looking at my window. Come out like an hour ago.
It
aired a couple.
You probably don't need to bother.
Couple
If you
hours
want to
ago.
put in like
Yeah, but I can't find it.
Alright.
Oh my god, who's playing the Megabus?
I saw on the screen the bus is
Also,
like flipped into the
Other
sky.
thing is that the crash trigger stopped working after a while because what happens like, when you crash in, the car's supposed to stall out
The
and
banger bus coming back?
the
Yeah, no, this
the object is
Oh my god.
No steps. I'll have to take a look at the setup and see what's going on with that.
Episode 14 is the only one that's in mind so far.
So you need to sit down.
Smoking over there.
Is there any other feedback anyone has that I can use to improve this world?
I couldn't get out of the seat in desktop.
I'm just gonna kneel in the seat. It'll be
in the back.
Yeah, I couldn't either do SMG.
I had to respawn.
I had to respawn.
Which seat was this? Or was this any
The
seat?
middle one. It's middle.
The middle one? So,
I think the entire back.
Hey, do you know how to drive a bus?
Tegen die tijd als die woestijnwereld voor mij klaar is, kan ik dat ook doen hier.
Kan, ja, kan. It can easily crash though, and you start climbing.
But when we reach the end, it wouldn't. The entire time, and then it's music in the distance. The green line.
On the top of the ball. I'm on the way there.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Whenever you have a carrier collider, it'll block like raycast interaction stuff. The only layer for an
About using Optimus avatars, I've blocked at least 10 people now because they have this red quotation mark.
Yep.
And my performance is much better now.
Yep.
Jerky. I mean, it is constant 45, but it's still a bit jerky when I look around.
37 I have.
I'm above 50 when it comes to avatar performance.
I'm a stickler for it too. All my avatars are around 6,000 polygons, so.
No, I give a crap about polygon count as long as it's just one mesh and one texture, it's fine.
Yeah.
Even with 1 million polygons, my graphics card could handle like 20, 40 of them. I don't care.
No, yeah, no, I know poly count's less important than proper mapping. Oh my god.
Roll us back, boys.
Poly count isn't that important. I think it's draw calls.
No, it is draw calls, but no, I try to keep it optimized for Quest users too, right? All my models are Quest compatible, 1 or 2, maybe 3. Yeah, maybe three materials tops.
Oh, is that the driver's side?
No.
Yeah.
You have it right here.
I don't see it.
This weapon in front of you.
Where?
No. This white cube.
There's no white cube here.
There's nothing here. In front of me then?
I can barely grab the driver's one.
Colliding buses.
That's weird. I don't see it.
You're gonna go for a drive or what?
Stop honking your horn!
No. We gotta move this car. Oh shit, I can't get out.
Car stop. Okay, respawn.
Am I stuck somewhere?
Oh god.
Why do I have a respawn in front of my name?
Like, why
does she? Like, I can...
Is it me? Explain stuff or...
Yeah, my map has lots of mirrors, so it's gonna be laggy. Yeah, it's gonna be super fucking laggy if you have all the mirrors on at once. So be wary. There's a lot of mirrors, a lot of them. Let's go.
Did you just you said mirrors at first.
What?
Don't do what? What's wrong?
I encourage people to actually follow mirrors.
Oh no!
You can't make that sound.
Do you have? Do you even have one avatar that doesn't have?
Is that word?
Hey, it was just
no,
guys.
Oh, this is gonna be great.
I've taken enough. So.
God, I have frames again.
There's one at the end, yeah, on the right.
Ooh, Funhouse mirrors.
Oh my god.
Time to turn them all on.
This one is new?
I'm yeah, the end one is new, yeah. I'm sorry!
How do you take a picture of it? Because it doesn't work in a camera, so you need to like screenshot.
Yeah, do screenshot in Steam.
Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't work on Oculus, so rip.
I really like this map. Oh god.
What's
wrong with this one? Oh no. Oh no, walk backwards.
I love Funhouse mirrors. So good.
Okay, yeah.
I had this idea a while ago. I'm glad somebody finally did it. It's really cool. Like I thought about it. I'd never said it to anyone.
So fucking distorted when you walk backwards.
Yeah.
Incredibly distorted. Around this. Oh god, I turned into. Oh no. Prowler, stand right here. Turn on this mirror and stand right here. You'll become an earthbound enemy. You'll actually become guy. Look at this. Look at this shit.
Are you getting that on your camera?
From where I'm standing.
People say it doesn't work on camera.
Yeah. No, it's working. It looks even worse through my. Hold on.
It's working. Bit of a fisheye, huh?
Oh my god, holy shit. Wow.
Holy shit.
There's so many people.
I love this. Like,
yeah. My legs are like this. My body look like a long pad.
So far, 3 mirrors.
What is it?
I need to learn how to
gotcha. Oh my. Oh yeah, von Röhren, yeah. Tatsächlich.
Oh shit. Tilt your head like this though.
Nice.
When you. If you tilt your head, it gets really weird.
Yeah, that's it.
I just looked away right away.
Smart.
Okay, I gotta click a button.
I was gonna try and turn this into something. But,
Make a funhouse.
You know, this is just a test for now.
Make like a 1980s style funhouse.
But I should say, like, we happen to have an entire funhouse.
Yeah, a dead map. That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna recommend. You could just repurpose the environment.
Actually, this would be like what I
Yeah.
Oh yeah. To make me look. So like if we just took the original environment and put normal maps
It's
on it.
really hard to hear.
Do you still have your voices turned down?
You know how cold Mount is.
If you want to enable 8 mirrors and use 8x multi-aliasing, you might want to.
If you want all the mirrors, yeah.
It's just a normal. It's literally just a normal map on a mirror. It's really smart.
All the enabled, all the mirrors, and the frame rate was still.
What graphics card do you have?
Oh, it's a normal map on a mirror.
Yep, normal map on a mirror. Time to go put normal maps on my mirrors.
I have a 2080 Ti and I can do 5 minutes.
I can ask him if I can give it to you.
Wait, does it have roughness support?
It has everything. It's full PVR.
You actually, wait, does that mean you could choose what to be reflective and not? You have like it slowly gets less and less reflective at some point.
You could, I guess you could do stuff with distant. You could do stuff with distant, Colin.
Ether is normal. He's I don't know what this is.
But like,
it's my
if
normal
you guys,
Dead Space suit.
okay,
When
if you
I've always
guys
been
just want
using.
this like outright, I can help you guys out with normal maps if that's all you really need.
I love normal maps. They're fun.
Squid, you better not be telling on me right now. You laughed at it, so you're
I don't know when we'll get to Funhouse 2 stuff again, but yeah, like.
November. I'm literally doing everything in the world in November. That's my plan. Everyone's like, oh hey, can you do this? I'm like, November.
Okay.
Okay, there's an avatar in here that caused me to lag so badly that I had to block everything to make it stop lagging. Except for the fun stuff.
All you guys are
That works. I blocked dynapos, I blocked shaders, I blocked fucking
get back to like
everything except for the model itself, and then I stopped lagging. How the fuck did that happen?
Maybe
Is
it's
it
like
220 million polys?
I need to go click some more buttons though.
Yeah,
Information.
Oh!
I don't know.
lagging. You said it was a bunny.
Who the fuck has 200 million polys on a fucking model? Yeah, no shit, I'm lagging like balls. What the fuck?
Is someone with after like that?
This is VR boyfriend Jitsu. J-Dom? J-Dom's the only one I have turf blocked.
I have a lot of people turf blocked, but...
I'm not sure the trade-off between that and
Is that a fake name?
149 people exactly. 980 in my kitchen. If you do 980
You're a piece of shit.
I forgot they don't to the
Why? Why are you doing this to me, Squid?
Or else, okay.
Bro, stop
He was
gaslighting each
messing with my
other.
screen.
If you turn them all on.
Yeah, that'll hold.
I'm gone?
Surprisingly, I'm getting
somebody.
What do you mean? Just be lag out.
No, I was still talking to you, and basically I just said, I'm gonna go check out the news.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm turning engineers on. I've already learned with these community meetups.
So wait, you did
Yeah, that's like what, like
that's like the main reason I got into VR chat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Anybody
did.
can do this.
Why?
Because it's funny. It's funny.
It's
It
funny.
makes laugh.
You have to be the one to make the fun house.
I don't know. It depends. It feels kind of. It feels kind of not great to step on Cyan and Fiona's toes like that because they made a fun house. And I feel like this would be.
Oh, they did? Oh shit.
Oh, that's Cyan. Okay. That's why I was gonna talk to them about it.
He's putting you out of business.
No, Bez is dead
Yeah,
anyway.
the-
How sad, because it's a great
Hold
house.
on, where's Orals?
Yeah, I did.
Orals is...
Oh, there you are.
Hey,
Yeah.
can you maybe tell me what you're doing at
Something like that into the
Phil
machine
is
world.
hosting them.
Yeah, I would if I could.
Okay, real quick, guys, if you're using avatars with crazy shaders, please don't use those. That's
it was like
use an optimized
standard shader, the best shader.
Oh yeah, almost. It was really nice.
There you are, you piece of shit!
Actually, I use mobile.
Okay.
Okay.
What's
So,
a
yeah, so the world we're going to is pretty small. It's like a lounge, hangout, movie watching place. There is chill hop music playing. They're usually like copyright free, but you know, you can lower the volume if you will. But yeah, apart from that, everything should be pretty good. Yeah, I'll just drop a portal, I guess, somewhere over here. Yeah, I just need to make sure that Kong will be the master because there are a bunch of controls I want to show off, and there are master only. So I'm gonna drop the portal over there, and we'll join in, I guess.
Boy, wait for someone to actually get in ahead of you.
Wait, Oros, if it's supposed to be upon entry masters first, would you rather you go in first and then, you know, make sure you're
that's what I'm saying.
alone?
Yeah, I'm going
go
first.
ahead
Yeah.
and wait for that.
Yeah, wait for Orals to go in first.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you
Okay,
to
wait,
don't go guys.
Let him load first. I'm waiting.
It's his mouth.
Stand up.
Come on, I'm waiting.
It's skeleton.
Oh god, that was loud.
Neat.
Yeah, it's there is a low pass filter over there when you come in. Yeah, but it's a bit loud right now. So. Yep. So yeah, this is basically it. There are some props. There's some references to some people.
Am I referenced here?
Look at this boy!
No, I don't think. There are some thank yous. There are some things here and there.
What are you doing?
Rubik, I stole you! Rubik, I stole you!
Vernünftige Beleuchtung sieht immer gut aus.
Tell them to peace off this world.
Look at that. What it's titled. It's called
Yeah, I added a bunch of little things here and there.
When you
just
want
so
to
reference people. Yeah, it's like an interaction text. If you drop it and say.
Your shells are so Star Trek, I just love it.
I'll keep it.
This is like... I don't know.
Give me it. I want to.
This is 100% ripped from Big Screen VR.
Oh, there it goes. I mean, not like on the ship, like when it's...
It's a shader made by Roll.
And there's like 8
It's just title.
I didn't just go up to him and be like, what is this?
I put it by accident. Because I was putting like a cracked glass shader on a mirror to make it look like, you know, a cracked mirror. But it like ended up warping my face. I was like, damn, I could make like stupid mirrors with this.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have...
We can do this.
It looks like
this.
Visible.
Oh, that looks cool now.
This is optimized.
Why God, it's too bright!
That was cool.
Give it a minute, this is real time shit. When there are so many people, it charges so hard.
Oh, you
For your rim.
Hey, Blue.
Keep it better than the first lounge.
I don't care.
There we go. Now you guys can feel
The GI takes a while to recalculate, I see, with like 40 people.
It was you that left the band-aid over on the shelf, wasn't it?
I might have guessed. I did. Why is it targeted?
Yeah, because there is a thing to shoot it with, but it's not implemented yet.
I like your avatar with Also, there's no trash can here. That's why there's a band-aid on the shelf.
Yeah, I can see.
Not on the floor. It's on the shelf. No one's touching it on the shelf.
If somebody wants to check it, oh yeah.
I need like
The controls are for everybody right now because I don't know how to make face dragon sliders.
That's a big ass band-aid. That's not mine.
So I can like.
We still have
Oh no, there's a little...
It's like a thing here.
Oh, honey! Why is that?
When she didn't have the VR.
But those are local, so like they fire the animation that gets them get synced. And I cannot make them like master only, or at least I don't know how. Maybe I can ask Face Dragon who made the whole slider thing. If you check the remote, you'll see the cool animation when it shows up.
Okay, go ahead, wrap that
It backwards there.
Just gonna...
Oh shit, so yeah, them is broken. Okay, them is broken. Yeah, so that's what's the thing. You can, like, yeah, you can drop it. It's okay, I see. So this is the thing, like, there is an animation that goes into states, and like...
My collarbone is hurting.
Because I have to have the object doing this with ES sliders that you can see through the values. So I just hide it with like an animation.
Yeah.
But
Usually it doesn't hurt my collarbone though. It has real-time changeable lighting. They can recalculate the light dynamically and can change the intensity of light.
He said that it's the animation itself that's positioned that way. So
guess to taught him how, you know, why you staying.
I just set it up.
But I'm pretty sure it's intentional.
You told me to. Yes, I told you. I taught your tiny anime brain that standard is better than my brain. It's not the size of the brain, it's actually how wrinkly it is. So I have a very big and wrinkly brain. And then some people have a very small, smooth, like a pea brain.
Shooting, so it can like shoot the targets.
You know, smooth.
Do now.
What happened if I said
I don't see anything like happening. Yeah, it's broken. Like it spawns sometimes. I never did guns, but like it was shooting like a minute ago, but now it's not. But basically, yeah, it shoots like those bullets as an Oculus Helm thing. Like I modeled them and modeled the targets, and like there are a couple of patterns, but I couldn't get the particles to shoot the proper way. way, so because I never did that, so yeah, that's kind of. So for now, there isn't much interaction over here, so there's just a couple of props, references. But mainly, I was building this as a nice place to just hang out with people, like with nice sound setup, with like there is like the wardrobe is isolated area, you cannot hear people outside who are in there, so they can have a private chat. Yeah, if you got, there is an override over there. For sure. Yeah.
It's just so safety settings on.
It looks good as a head.
With safety settings. Yeah,
looks great.
Not blocking anything, everything, and dynamic mode.
I think so. Yeah, because
Actually, I just noticed something. You're right. None of us are reflecting on that ball. We're all vampires.
Because real-time reflections are expensive.
Who said I even needed a trade? Hands down. No, I mean hands up.
You can use half the room palm out of existence.
This is science, baby. On the
What
are you gonna do? Listen. We're teaching it from a young age how to fend.
Literally the same FPS.
Your Twitch was good.
Oh, thanks. Were you watching that?
Yeah.
It's always fun to show people how to do things.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should see his old avatar. You're not gonna bring that out.
Cyan Junior is hungry.
No. Unintentional crash.
If you don't understand,
I think it's because
I'm looking at the cube. Alright, thank you. I'm not in Blender.
Yeah, I've got to spend more time doing that. I've got the basics pretty much all on my YouTube now, but I don't know what else to show people how to do yet. Maybe more Unity stuff.
Yeah, I think so. It's the problem that I had a lot with the Avatar because I don't make them from scratch, but I use a lot of things from everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But when I put them all together, sometimes something is not right or it's a little bit messy, but I find my way through. But sometimes is that I think it's the basics. The basics. If you don't have the basics like in school or something like that, it's hard to figure out because you want to make something to the end, but you have not make the beginning right.
Yeah,
so,
I understand.
Sometimes it's that is the problem. But I think I have a lot of fun with that. I make a world, but it's not. It's a year back. It's a Lord of the Ring, the big red eye.
Oh, nice.
Okay, but it's a lot of things. I think it took me 4 months to all put it on, and but it's not. I think it's not really ready. I have a lot to do in it.
Mm-hmm. It's fun to see what other people do. I like going to these because you can see, you get ideas, right?
Exactly. That's why I'm here. It's, having a lot of idea, and sometimes they give you tips.
Yep.
And that's really fun.
You're not bending at all when you do that.
Yeah, where is Meaty? That's gonna cause damage.
No, I'm not the meaty police.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be. That's your job title. Whatever you want.
You're rich now. You could buy some.
Oh, these are all sound isolated areas. All these areas are sound isolated. That's kind of cool.
Wait, they are?
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, that's crazy.
God damn, I don't even know
That's
how you
really
do that.
good.
It's nice. Use the new VRC audio override.
Bruh, that sounds hard.
No, it's easy. It's just a volume. You just say in here.
That sounds hard still.
Nah.
This is pretty good, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I like this idea. This is a good idea.
It's muffled and shit. Oh, bruh.
Yeah.
Even though they're just over there.
Yeah, it's so good. That's really handy, because there's always a time people want to go, oh, come over here, let's have a private conversation, but then the room is set up so that you can still hear them anyway. Yeah, it's nice.
That's good.
Get up there.
At full volume.
Hi, Lucifer!
I see you fine.
Hey, how come we can see the shelf through his body? Fuck, wait, I can see it through you too.
Oh, are you selling that?
I don't see him at all.
This reminds me a lot of the big
right
screen
here.
VR environment. There's a big screen VR environment that looks just like
me.
this. Big screen's awesome. I like it a lot because you could do TV things with Quest users.
Talking about big screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched anime with people in there. It's pretty hot shit. It's really nice.
I can see your hair through the back of your head.
Buying or selling?
Yeah.
What's with
Yeah,
that?
his body is semi-transparent.
Oh, now you can see it,
This
yeah.
world?
It's this world.
Ranger, you get to go in a minute?
Oh.
What would do that?
I don't,
Yeah, you're fine for me.
If his skin is
I
set
don't see you transparent at all.
if his skin is set to translucent or fade, probably fade.
Oh, it's all everything's set to opaque.
Weird, because yeah, I can see the you're right. I can see your hair through your face as
It's
if,
just the world.
and then
It's
I can
also
see
your
the tail.
avatar. I saw the shelf through your legs.
I wanna see
Like,
it.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Really?
you're right. Might
Yeah,
be
and-
the-
Oh, now I can see it. Yeah, you're right.
Weird.
I can't see it right now, but the shelves did it.
Yeah, I can see it. If you
Does it work for everyone?
I don't know about yours.
Nope. Nope.
I can see it.
Okay.
No, that's different.
Where are you?
Respawn.
God damn it.
Oh, there we go. The light.
Oh, you're fine now. So it's just over
If
there.
we can all gather around the center here.
Weird.
We're at the World Egg meetup.
Okay. So we kind of like ignored the idea of having like upside down mirror stuff. Like we can have that as like the the small version, which the small one can be cross compatible or
If
something.
we could quickly gather around the table down in the center room
You
there.
know, adjust the GI, like because it's CPU based, so it doesn't lag, but it just takes a while to like respond to the change. But I like the fact, like you can see the glow on the top or there in the corner and things like
Wait,
that.
I have a question. Is the
Yeah,
script
looks
always
good.
running? The what is it?
Which one?
Custom render behavior.
Someone threatened with
Yes.
on an scepter.
If it's not changing, you should probably disable it. Because that will cause a consistent amount of lag.
Yeah, I just.
Because like, I had something like for Quest World doing that, and like I lagged like tremendously. But I can help with that later.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you know.
Hey guys, can we quiet down for a second? Every day, let's start talking.
Behind people.
Somebody's clicking the thing all the time.
Alright. 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 Hang on. I gotta unblock. Okay.
Anyway,
Nope.
I'm Major X. I created an obstacle course.
It wasn't a request, it was a demand.
Hello.
I'm listening.
Okay.
Show cyan, laser,
Space
and
Dragons. Space Dragons player
I'll
control
just
system
pull it
and timing
What?
systems create an obstacle course world. There's no object.
You're gonna what?
Everything's local. There are about 40 gems to collect, and basically that's it. That's it. Let's go have fun, climb, get lost, and
Whoa.
I basically made 40 different obstacles for you guys to play with. So I will drop the portal right now.
Wait, Rachel.
Have fun unless your name is Nihansky, then you're not allowed to have fun.
Scepter.
Yes.
Yeah, and all the collects are
How are you
local.
being
You
mute?
grab
You're
things
showing
with
off the world.
your hand.
Have a scepter. Drop it on
Also,
Everything's
does
local.
anyone see this
Make sure
giant
it's a
fucking
plus
dog?
instance.
Look,
I know how
as
to miss.
Rubik, I will kill
Thanks,
you.
Dad.
That's so
I'm
mean.
Rubik. I'm going to kill you.
Just kill the dog.
Stop.
I don't see a dog.
You're encouraging them.
I don't think you saw the avatar
Come on.
change.
I'm fair.
That's why.
Alright.
Fair.
Oh, I thought no one was reacting to it.
I feel like
Ooh.
This
How
does
about
not
act?
work with my avatar.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get in this.
Well, this looks Ranger X, that's for sure.
Ground of
I have a
other
feeling that someone's lighting is very.
Oh my gosh, your
Bada.
face, your lack of faith.
Oh yeah.
No, so I think in Ranger X's other worlds, he's got this dungeon asset pack, and I think he's
You
and
fuckers.
he also likes the black skybox.
Come on.
No face berry.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yo,
Pretty much.
what
I guess
happened,
it's
dude?
an asset pack.
Turn black.
Yeah,
I
it definitely
want-
it looks like yours.
Yes,
It's
look
like,
at
oh yeah, this looks like your world.
No, Sky.
You have a style.
A neighbor.
Well, I guess
And
use what I have.
neighbor.
There we go.
Looks like people are trying.
Well, look at that. Juby goes straight to the fucking mirror.
Straight to the mirror.
Oh, grab your climbing orb.
So are we good to just run around, or?
Yeah, run
Question mark.
around, climb around, collect all the gems.
Hey Ranger, why does it say to collect 30 out of 40 gems exactly?
Oh, I got jettisoned out of the world.
Basically, eventually I'm going to add a stopwatch and a timer to this place, so I'm going to set it up so it's the best path to 30 gems.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And also, it's very annoying to create a speed run around all 40. It's the 4x4 rooms and all the hallways. It makes things easier not to explore every single room. Or I might be wrong. Maybe just collect all 40 gems and hit the stopwatch. Okay, I'm gonna see how people are reacting.
Oh shit. What?
I can't look at all the people.
Hey J Dog.
I can see the climb balls behind me.
Oh, fucking launched.
Oh no!
I think this thing works on quests, so I don't know if that factors into it.
As I said, I am blocking everybody for a moment, and I will tell you how the frames are with having no avatars. Too bad I can't block myself.
Yeah, you
What are you
can.
getting?
Boy, this is a buttery smooth 10 frames a second, gamers.
Okay, so with all the avatars blocked, I'm going between about, well, it's at 45. Looking at this way, it's at 40. 40-ish.
That's what I'm getting.
Group hug.
Oh my god, Fio.
What is this, Chris? Is this your climbing avatar?
You're about to keep consistent with this.
It also
Hey, Jack.
says climbing phase dragon. I was like, wait, what?
Boy.
Oh, is this a different system?
Wait, is it?
Oh, it is a different
Is it
system?
science climbing or this is phases climbing?
Yeah, same.
It's phases.
Oh, okay.
It's the physics-based
that's why I
one.
got launched.
You broken your
That could
I got
explain
launched
the
up into
performance.
in the sky.
Almost.
Wait, what does that mean?
I fucking,
Doesn't
so the cable's
like
fucked,
real-time
so there's
physics
a random
when there's lots of
chance
avatar
I will
doesn't
get
that
a
mess
black
with things?
screen and it won't recover.
Oh, there's only one for you.
Oh, okay.
But I'm getting a free replacement soon, though.
So the difference is that it's like my version is just only while you're holding an object, where his is
Right.
like always enabled.
I'm getting a whole
Oh.
new headset. I'm getting
Well-
a whole new headset. Okay.
Oh, okay. So, I guess it would allow you to use it for like swimming
used to hide it
underwater
where I
and
was,
stuff,
hold on.
right? Yeah. Okay. But
I
yes,
mean, I haven't
this
seen his system, so I don't know the details.
This map is fairly popular with Quest users because of that. I think though, because you can do it in Quest and because it's fairly large. I mean, my map's got climbing and is Quest compatible too, but this map being that it's an adventure, there's not enough stuff like that for Quest. I think, unfortunately.
I would like to make more, but I don't have infinite time.
Yeah, I agree. I just make everything for Quest now. And then, because it's also good performance on PC, right? So.
Yes, but also, I should actually go explore instead of just talking the entire time.
It is kind of fun.
It's kind of boring stream if nobody sees it. What is that? It took this...
Yeah.
This is from mine, but it's not even Phase's colors. Like,
I know.
It's not even the character. Oh, what is the sounds?
It's like a creepy... Yeah, it's neat.
It's like...
Well, I just had it turned off, so I need to check.
I'm not patient.
Wait, is there no sound for when you pick something up?
No, there isn't.
Oh, my arm.
No. Stand on
it. Shalom. Hey, can you bring me that gem that I forgot to get? Fuck? Oh. Sorry. Oh, what? Oh, almost fell.
Hey, Mitowski.
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
I'm legit sweating. I wish this was the first one.
Same.
I could be chilling right now.
I'm dying right now.
Sorry, I'm squeezing through. It is so hot in this room.
Whoa!
It's fucking fall, man.
The heck is this?
You gotta hurl yourself, yeah. I guess.
Oh, goodbye, my people. My people need me. I go on to a better place.
No.
Wait, what the fuck?
Whoa, what the fuck?
I'm not even doing anything.
Oh, wait. What? Wait, do you have to climb? You have to... Yeah, you have to do this.
No, just do one.
This one's really unique. I like this. This is interesting.
Can we
because of the
slide
way
down
that...
the other side? That's the real question.
Yeah, you can. You can slide. It's neat.
Someone needs to make a playground.
See you
with
later.
slides.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah, the slides are really cool. That's a really good idea, actually. Because you keep sliding, right? So that's really unique. Whoop. Whoop!
Okay.
It's is this floor meant to be icy? Is that what's going on here?
I don't know exactly, but it's really fun.
When you get to the top, slide down. It's fun.
Yeah, the slide is the most unique part of this map. This part here is really neat. Cuz it like throws you. Yeah. Icy floor.
Is there oh, there's one down there.
Fiona, what? I just realized the gigantic advantage you must get. Fiona gets such a gigantic advantage with her giant gorilla arms.
30 out of 40.
30 or 40.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was like taking off the ones that are.
Yeah, I wish.
Like you could barely
Maybe,
touch it.
I don't know, Ranger X? No.
What was that? What about Ranger X?
This map
yeah,
wasn't
having a
made for
countdown.
people with short arms.
No, that's anything climbing based is not. If you want a handicap, do a small avatar.
I mean, the quest.
I wish is that wrong?
You have or what kind of need left
stream from your
because
PC.
it doesn't have like.
I mean, oh yeah, it'd be nice to have a number.
Yeah, but then with the cable. Oh yeah.
I need to bug him about that though.
Yeah.
What?
I got good.
No, the image is from my system, and it's not even animated.
Yeah.
So it's like, what?
Everything goes UCC and it's still not happening.
It's like
It just
either
gets
use the
straight to the
entire thing
point.
and change the orbs, or make your own that is not using my system. But since FaZe isn't doing it, I don't know if he's ever going to.
That nobody's really fucking going to use BC.
Why didn't he just put an image of the same thing, like it's an avatar, but then instead of balls they're like freaking melons?
It is actually.
Oh no! So like, have you seen like my climbing maps? Like, I put a Y-bot in doing the animation of grab your ears and climb the wall. And so like that is just a picture of
the
it.
one at the carnival.
I was trying to figure out what was costing me frames, so I tried to take out the white ball.
Oh,
You can have fucking dash
Well, the part that I'm wondering is like he took a picture of, and it's like my system. It's not even the same colors as FaZe's.
Station and power.
I know, but it gets the same message across.
Like
Yeah.
It does. I guess. Yeah.
Agree. Or optionally, you could just have
Also,
some
the sounds
kind
when
of
you click
person
the
in
gem
every
are not
world
loud
be yelling at
enough
you
compared to the background
to
sounds
grab
of
the skeleton, you know.
I really just took a random sound in the standard asset pack and just threw it in.
VR cable.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, they did.
VR cable jack shit. I mean,
I'll look
I
at-
believe
to
it
make
was
it
like
louder.
after Valve was kind
Yeah, I
of
was
done
trying to
with
find-
that cable
trying to
solution,
create my
whatever,
own
so they
coin
didn't do it.
sound That's not Sonic or Mario.
I mean,
I could
I
find
would-
one, but
You could
the
probably
pop
do
was
that with
close enough.
USB-C as well, for the most part.
That being said, I do have to fucking travel for an hour just to get there, so you know that's kind of a pain in the ass.
Ouch.
Yeah. Ain't great.
For like, oh, it's only $5
There's a
on
fucking-
Amazon.
yeah,
It's like a
yeah,
piece of
sure,
shit.
I know.
I mean, that was with my Vive as well, because my Vive, like the link box, right? I for a, I don't quite remember right now, like mini USB to use, mini USB, I mean, mini DisplayPort to DisplayPort cable.
Happens and you're like,
But the DisplayPort cable was
no,
up to 2K, so I couldn't display the shit. So I need like higher resolution one. Right, so I had to buy another cable for it, basically.
So if you go to the water section, it's kind of hard to get.
Yeah, that's why I was like digging through forums and just sort of looking at people's like finest lists.
You know what I would really like to?
You're a midget now.
I'd really like to have a longer cable.
Why am I a midget?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I have my own
I'm fun sized, I'll have you know. I can
Alright,
fit
let me
your
get fun
pocket,
size
I'll
too.
have you know.
It was
I've got pockets for you. Hang on, let me get mine.
and then a repeater so that I wouldn't black out and all that kind of crap.
Yeah.
Works pretty well.
I mean, actually my is pretty long range, actually.
The first time I didn't do that, I bought an extension cable and I was still
Wait, am I the exact person?
I haven't got the email yet. The legs are on the ground.
Oh my god.
Oh, now you do. Okay, that was weird.
The I was just thinking, if you had the respawn animation, like, or all of the animations scroll down the screen like this and then stop, so that people notice them.
So we were saying before that we, like, as you leave it on, that we could like
Just
add
get
arrows
bigger
pointing to it,
and
being like,
bigger
"Hey,
and
please
bigger."
listen."
Yeah.
I got
29.
I think all of them.
I'm getting 10 frames. Streaming at the same time is really hurting my machine right now.
Yeah, I got 29.
Fiona.
Wait, dumb game.
Yeah, we talked much
Fist
and
bump.
actually I wanted to ask you about that
question.
He likes to be Elgin.
Wait, I can.
I guess Call's over here, I think. So. Ultra.
You could play full contact, all paper, rock, paper, scissors.
You're welcome.
Hey guys, can we all gather around Kala over there? Big green snake.
Big green snake?
No, he's still
Oh wow, so spooky.
Oh, you
Get it right.
You hit the gym.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's intimidating. I must admit.
Who died here?
What do you do?
Who died here?
This is like a
Clearly it's me who died.
It's a cyan laser.
Here.
Everything.
It's got the cross shape to it. So it looks like a point in a video
Appreciate
game.
you guys doing
Awesome. Quiet, please.
Yeah, some people don't agree, but
Okay.
what are you tiny? Where?
You work for VR.
Also, Kala, right when you're done talking, that's something I want to say real quick.
Okay.
Oh my god.
You ghost this.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
So the world you're about to see is pretty much the same one that you've seen last time, which is the corrupted version of the TranStar apartment. Except this time, thanks to everyone who came to visit, you all gave me very valuable feedback, and it was actually really important to me. The critiques, the pointers, as well as all the little mistakes that has been spotted and whatnot, including volume control, texture optimization, and whatnot. I love you all so much for that. You really helped me out. So what you're all about to see.
Appreciation.
Oh,
Sorry?
Thank you.
I'll leave.
Excuse me.
So basically, this world that you're about to enter is TranStar apartment again, obviously. Except there are various new elements. You may all now set your world volume to anything you want. It doesn't have to be lower than anything. You could even keep it at 100 now. Basically, nothing's gonna blast into your ears. Once you're in the world, by the way, and after you've enjoyed your view, you'll see what I mean to the new ones who have not seen this world before. As well as the view, there is some additional dynamic events that I added outside. You will see that when you get there. After the events have taken place, after a little while, the transcribe on the nightstand will play two very important messages to make sense of what happened in the world. So do please take your time to pay attention to the transcribe messages that play. There is now an element going around the apartment which we like to call the Phantom, and this one has not taken shape or form yet. It's only a mist. Pay attention to that as well, because it might say a couple of things that are quite interesting.